Hello, this is your friendly nurse and a health coach, and I'm coming to you on diabetes. Diabetes dates way back in history when it started in the BC time before Christ by the Greeks and the Latin. And they went to experimenting and finding out that people had a sweet, sweet taste in their urine. And diabetes was only like a part of what was first noted when they first started diabetes. It was only diabetes. It wasn't diabetes mellitus. Diabetes means to pass through, and mellitus means that sweet, sweet, sweet smell in the urine, and the urine like a sweet, sweet taste. So the Latin and the Greeks back in 250 BC up to like 675 BC discovered this about the urine. And so they went to testing and seeing what they can do about the urine being sweet, sweet smelling and sweet tasting way back in the 2nd century of BC. And then it went on up to the 17th century. A sweet, sweet taste, and it was extremely sweet in the urine. And they said, "Wow, what is causing that?" People began to get thirsty when that happened to them, and they started having frequent urination, even sexual problems, and they didn't have the sexual desire for their mates like they used to. And they had all kind of sexual desires taken away from them. They was wondering what was happening, but it was all happening during the time that the urine began to have that fruity, sweet odor, smell, and so they began experiments on dogs, and they find out that dogs without their pancreas, that it was worse. They had frequent urination, and they were real thirsty, drowsy at times. So they like, what's going on with the pancreas? And so it got to be around the 19th century, that more doctors came on, and they were still experimenting on what is going on with the pancreas. So they find out that pancreas was the problem because it was the organ in the body that produced the hormone insulin to kind of act as sugar, being so sweet in the urine. And then they found out it was sweet also in the blood. A lot of sugar was in the blood. It was a high glycemic. By this time they said, "Oh wow, it's high glycemic." It's in the blood and it's in the urine a lot. High doses of sugar. And then they started experimenting more with the pancreas. And they said, well, the pancreas, being in problems or having a lot of problems in the pancreas, is making it difficult for the insulin to be secreted out of the pancreas, which is the hormone that's supposed to level the sugar in your body to go where it need to be at. And at times it was not working in proper way, the pancreas, and then sometimes it wasn't working at all to produce the insulin. And when your pancreas is not producing at all to release the insulin in your blood, it's called diabetes 1. Then diabetes 2 is when it's got problems producing the urine. Then it's producing the insulin for your body to regulate the sugar in your body. And so in the 19th century, the disease of the pancreas, a man named Claude, a man named Bernard, and some more doctors, they figure out also that it was also affecting the liver liver had a high content of sugar in the liver also. So they said, wow, this is becoming a major problem. So they began to experiment more and more and find out, wait a minute, we got to get some insulin from some cows or somewhere to get to the body and find some kind of way to make the body, the pancreas and the insulin in the pancreas produce the way it should be produced, or give it more insulin where it's not no insulin in the body. So they produced insulin to put in the body of the people. That's around 1921 to 1923. These 4 doctors was congratulated and awarded for producing insulin. McLeod, Colic, Banton, and Best. These was the 4 guys. Some of them was medical students, some of them was actually doctors that got together to produce the insulin and said this is going to cause insulin that we're going to be putting in the body when the pancreas is messing up and not producing the proper insulin for the body to regulate the sugar in the body, because too many people is running into a lot of problems. So they discovered this insulin around 1921 to 1923. They experimented, and this was in Toronto, Canada. By this time, it had got to Canada, right by the United States, for these young beings to produce this insulin. And they said, but they have predicted that by the year 2030, that diabetes is going to be number 7 leading cause of death in the United States. It's already up there now. So in 1994, it became a major problem, epidemic. And at the same time, there was a lot of production of fast foods and a lot of processed foods going on, more and more. So they looked at the people eating habits and knew that it was related to the way they were living, their living conditions, and their eating habits of the major epidemic of the diabetes problems. So they began to say, okay, we got to go a little deeper and experiment with more and more kind of insulins. So they began to experiment with more and more all kind of insulins, and now there's all kind of insulins where people that even lose weight now while they controlling their diabetes. It said 9% of adults 18 years old and older has diabetes. And around 2012, 1.5 million died due to diabetes, according to the World Health Organization, WHO. So by 2030, they said it's going to be the 7th leading cause of death in the U.S. So you got type 1 diabetes, which means it's not producing, the pancreas is not producing no insulin for the body. So they really need to give more insulin and watch the diabetes even more. And then you got type 2 diabetes, which can get better with a little insulin or either diet control. And there's also now have came up with a type 3 diabetes, which is dementia. That's the newest thing that they have came with diabetes now. There's a type 3, which is related to diabetes with a dementia on the Alzheimer's. It's affecting the brain, the high sugar contents, the high carbohydrate contents, the poor eating habits. So we're going to be coming back with more on diabetes in the next video. We love you all. Don't forget to like and to share the video. Thank you.